at least Sqenix was at least more honest than Blizzard
Yeah,
or is it Activision.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm not happy about it, but I can at least be like, okay, at least you're letting me know up front that you're being a greedy son of a bitch. But Activision Blizzard did some scummy shit. But I mean, it's a scummy company. I mean, they're run by the human ballsack that is
Bobby.
Bobby Kotick. So it's and not a healthy ballsack, like a diseased herpes-filled ballsack. But anyway, before we go any further, let's have everyone introduce themselves, starting with the lady first, then the gentleman, and then we'll dive into these topics. So let's get started.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all ages to the BS Buster podcast. I am Jill Wright, Alien Moonstar, and get yourself some root beer. We're going to have some bitter tastes to get out of our mouths.
I guess so. Kenoshi.
This is Kenoshi Abominito, here to be glad on another one of these BS Busters, and apparently PlayStation is doomed within the next 10 years or something.
According to Michael Pachter, who, I mean, do we have to listen to anything Michael Pachter says?
Wait a second.
Like, do we have to...
Michael Pachter.
I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but you'd have to have Sony fuck up big time for like 3-4 years straight.
I was going to say that I already know that Sony's is kind of linked to their nation at this point with their bank accounts, so they have to do something pretty stupid in order for that bank account to be cut.
I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't happen. It's just not.
I said they have to do something pretty stupid. I didn't say it was likely. I just said they have to do something pretty stupid. But I'm not sure how stupid it has to be to have that happen.
Like I just said, I'm not sure. Like, I'm not even talking about the whole, like, the mountain of debt that Sony's carrying around from the Bank of Japan. I'm talking about just in general, like, in order for the PlayStation brand to not be around in the next 10 years, there would have to be a major shift in gaming. Like, basically, consoles in general would have to go away. And everything would just be online experiences. Which, I'm not saying that couldn't happen. But I don't, it's unlikely. Let me put it that way. Anyway, Kenoshi, introduce yourself.
Oh, I already did.
Oh, okay, all right. This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. Thank you for joining us for another BS Busters cast. We have some decent topics on tonight's cast. We're going to talk about the how demos kind of went the way of the dodo in the 6th gen. Like, we stopped getting demos on consoles, which is, to me, not a cool thing. Because if someone wants me to plonk down 60s and in some cases $70 on a game, plus, tens of dollars on expansion packs and DLC and microtransactions. The fact that you can't let people get a demo of your game to see if they actually would like it lets me know that your game's not exactly what it necessarily needs to be. And just, the end of demos anyway. Elden Ring's FU to Western gaming practices. Sqenix's continuous BS. And finally, nominating our A-hole of the week. So without much ado, let's get into it. Starting with disappearing demos. Who here has ever got a demo for a game, played the demo, and realized they either were like the demo either turned them one way or another to buy the game or not buy the game,
or at the worst, deceived you into buying the game and made you regret it?
I never had that with a game that I had a demo on. Like, demos for me either made me want to buy the game or not buy the game. Like, I've never bought a game because of the demo and then been like, I don't like this game?
Believe it or not, I had demos that made me say no, and demos that made me say yes. Well, the weird thing is, the Crash Bandicoot Warped one, the Crash Bandicoot Warped demo, that was the only one I was convinced to go for the full game
Because of the demo.
Of all the Crash demos.
That's interesting. Kadoshi?
See, really the only demo I remember picking up and being interested in the game, but never getting the game because because I couldn't afford it at the time. That was Sonic. What was the name of the Sonic game that had the day and night cycle and you turned into a werewolf?
Sonic Unleashed.
Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah, Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah.
And there were. I remember getting a. I don't know if you remember PlayStation Underground with all the.
I remember that
demos that come in
yeah.
the magazine. I don't know if any of you were ever subscribed to that. I enjoyed those. Some of the demos in those games I already had, but a lot of the games that I wanted to play, they didn't have demos of. It was more like documentaries about how what this game is gonna be.
Yeah.
Like the Kingdom Hearts game, I know because I found that out through. I found out about Kingdom Hearts. More about Kingdom Hearts through PlayStation Underground.
Huh. That's interesting.
And yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they were pushed. That was back in the day when Sony gave a crap about that game and pushed it pretty hard.
Yeah. Well, they had to because I think they had like a 30-40% stake in Sqenix at the time.
Yeah. And they don't really care too much about any Japanese role-playing games.
No, they still Sqenix is still their bitch. Just not to as big as an extent as it used to be, but that relationship is still there. Excuse me. It snowed where I lived, and I'm drinking my cinnamon chai tea with cream. How can
That's a good warm beverage.
It is. It's great. I have been into demos for a long time. As a matter of fact, I remember playing the demo for Age of Empires. We had it on our local area network when I was in high school, and we'd play Age of Empires against each other. We played Age of Empires so much on the local area network. Like there were 4 games we'd play on the local area network, and all of them were demos. Age of Empires, Civilization 2, Doom, and StarCraft.
Well, if anything, I guess the wrong Blizzard game.
Yeah, we would play the hell out of StarCraft on the local. That's how I got good at StarCraft, was just playing people on the local area network when I was in high school, and that's how I basically got good at using like the different races in StarCraft and getting used to different strategies, how to defend myself against Zerg rushes. Like basically we had like a 30-minute lunch. So I would like my last 2 years of high school.
You probably squeeze in 3 games a day with that kind of time.
No. What I would do is my last 2 years of high school, my study hall, like my junior year, like my junior year in high school, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. My junior year, my study hall period, where like, because I had basically met my requirements for that year, because I took summer courses at my local community college, because I wasn't like the person who taught biology at our school fucking sucked. And I was like, I'm not learning biology from a religious fundamental nut job, because the shit that she teaches, if I majored in any type of scientific field and spat at her bullshit, they'd kick me out. I wouldn't pass that course. So, like, I took biology at the local community college instead and swapped out her class. So instead of having biology before lunch, I had study hall. So basically, I had like over an hour long lunch. I had like an hour and a half long lunch, because lunchtime was like 45 minutes and the class itself was like 50 minutes. So I would eat my lunch during study hall. And then after that, I would go to the computer lab and play StarCraft. But it was a demo of StarCraft. So, yeah, and my senior year, I had a study hall after lunch that was like that too. So basically, all I'm saying is this: loved the shit out of playing demos when I was in high school, and then, then when I was like the summer before I went to college, like all of the computer gaming places that used to sell computer games went out of business, and they were like just giving away shit. And like, for not giving away, but like very low prices to like get rid of their inventory. So you could go in with
$2 games.
You could go in with $20 and get like you could get like a small cardboard box of just games and demo discs and paraphernalia, like stuff now that's worth a lot of money. Yeah. But back then they were just wanting to get rid of it. So that's what I did. I played I played the demo for Doom, which only gave you the first episode. And that game was fun as hell. I remember playing the demo version of Duke Nukem. Not at our school, not on our school campus, but at a friend's house. They had the demo, played the shit out of that. PC gaming has always been pretty demo friendly. Console gaming, like especially during the CD age, when you got like the PS1, PS2 era, you still were getting demos for a lot of games. It sucks that we don't get demos on consoles these days much now. It's not cool, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to see demos starting to pop up a lot more now, but it seems like it's for a lot of indie titles or niche titles.
Yeah.
Nothing, we didn't see a demo for, I don't know, name your big AAA game. Yeah, I didn't see a demo pop up for, the new Call of Duty or something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. To me, it doesn't hurt to, like it's cool that indies have demos. But if a game is like $20 or $30, even $40, I don't mind there not being a demo, because it's not going to hurt me that much to pay $30, $40 for a game or less. But if you're charging people $60 or more plus DLC, plus expansions, plus microtransactions, and then you have the nerve not to give people a demo for the game, I kind of like, because I mean, how many games have we seen where like if there was a demo for this game, no one would have bought it? Like Fallout 76. Yeah. Or Cyberpunk 2077.
That would have been the warning signs.
Like that. I mean, or Battlefield 2047. Like, if there were demos for those games, do you think they would have seen the type of sales they did? Or the new Call of Duty that's like basically bombed?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people would have bought it. I think people would have been like, you know what? I'm out. You know what? I'll wait. Like, if No Man's Sky had a demo, do you think people would have bought it?
I don't think so. I think the people would still bought it because they'd been like, I need to see more of this game because this demo ain't telling me a lot.
I don't think that would have worked for me. I would have been like, nah, I'm good.
I would have said, yeah. People would have said, nope.
Because I've played No Man's Sky. I've played the revamped version of No Man's Sky, and I'm still like, I don't like this game very much. I don't like it very much
Yeah.
at all. I know some people are going to get angry when they hear that. What do you mean you don't like it? Don't like No Man's Sky. Even the upgrade, I'm just not really feeling it.
Yeah, upgrading it really catch your attention either, huh?
I mean, no, like there's like some small changes that could have been made that would have made No Man's Sky into a better game. But it's like basically like there's a part in No Man's Sky in the next upgrade they did where if you play it long enough, there's a part where the game gets interesting, where you find out that like the universe that you're in had this like massive calamity happen with all this really dark shit happens, but you have to go like 80 hours into the game to get to that point. And I'm like, why the fuck would I want to play 80 hours of a game so that it could get good?
Yeah.
That doesn't, that's like reading a book that's like 500 plus pages, and they're like, man, the last 50 pages, excellent. It's like, why the fuck did I have to go through 450 pages till it got good?
I was about to say, at the last 50 pages, isn't that kind of Final Fantasy 13 kind of bad?
No, because even in the last portion of Final Fantasy 13, it's still not good.
Oh,
it's still not good. It's just better than what came before it, but it's still not good. And the problem with Final Fantasy 13 is that there's a lot of systemic design issues that have nothing to do with the pacing. Like it's a lot of small things that combine together to lead to major issues. But are there any other demos you guys played where you were like, yeah, I got to get this game because of the demo?
For me, as I said, I Crash 3's demo actually made me go on and get it, which was thankfully the best experience I had of a Crash game.
Crash 3, that was the one that kind of did it for you?
The Crash 3 demo gave me the confidence to get the full Crash game.
All right.
So, if anything, that was a small plus.
All right. Kenoshi, any others for you?
Bastion. That was a pretty good game.
Really? There was a demo for that? I didn't know that.
I think so.
But then there's the dark side of demos, which, because we've lost a lot of demos, like a lot of people, if they want to try like a $60 game, they'll pirate it. Yeah, they'll pirate it and determine if they like it and be like, I don't like this, and then they don't get it. Or some people do pirate it and they're like, I really like this game, I want to support the developer, and then they'll buy it.
Yeah, that's for me. That was the ukulele and the Impossible Lair. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked
pirated the game, liked it, and ended up buying it.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand people's reticence to get that game because a lot of people were kind of divided on the first game in that series. I actually liked the first game in the series, so I wasn't really. I was like, they're going 2D, so they're basically aping, no pun intended, Donkey Kong Country. Well, considering, a lot of these people are the same people who made Donkey Kong Country, and like, I make no qualms about it. I prefer the rare Donkey Kong Country games compared to the Retro Studios Donkey Kong games. So I had no doubt. I had no compunctions about buying that game. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be good. Like, if anyone would know how to make a 2D Donkey Kong Country style game, it's these people. But I get where you're coming from, and I totally respect it. You know, I'll tell you a game that there isn't a demo for, but I got it on a sale, and I still haven't played it yet. The Witcher 3 Game of the Year edition.
Yeah,
I got it for like $10 with all the DLC, and I'm like, I should get into that game one day, and I'm just like, I don't feel like it. I don't have the energy for it. One day I'll get into that. You know, I don't know how to segue into the next topic, so I'll just bring it up. Elden Ring. Elden Ring's design philosophy continues to give the FU to Western gaming practices, because Elden Ring does something that we haven't seen in a long time. A huge AAA game that costs $60, and there's no microtransactions in it or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, like everything that's in the game you can unlock by playing the damn game.
Yep.
You know, the only real caveat I would say is, like, Elden Ring is one of those games where I'm like, if they said we're going to release an expansion where we're going to add another continent to explore, or like a series of islands or some shit, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if this was a Western design game, they'd be like, well, if you want to add new hairstyles, that's going to be the $10 hair pack.
Yeah, it's getting really bad.
Hey, you want to open up this area over here? Climb this tower and climb this tower and press a button. You know, even Nintendo got caught in that bug in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I like how Elden Ring, like, From Software is like, we ain't playing that game. We're gonna make the games that we've been making for like 30 years at this point. And if you don't like it, get the fuck out. And I like how salty the Western developers have been getting about it. I mean, they are so angry.
Yeah.
And upset.
I was about to say, I thought the term would be salted.
No, they're just angry and upset. Because they're like, man, why didn't I think about that? You know, I know, it's hard. It's very difficult for these greedy, gutless bastards to make a game and, like, not, like, hold players' hands.
I get you. I was just saying, I thought the word would be salty for how they feel like they missed out on some good money.
Oh, well. You mean, well, they didn't miss out on good money. Because, I mean, you have to think. It costs time, effort, energy to keep servers online so that you can basically, you know, have a cash shop on hand.
Yeah.
And if people aren't using it, like, you know, like, you're spending money to make money, but not in a good way, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, as a business owner, I have to pay a merchant fee transaction for every electronic transaction I do. Okay? I have to pay for that. But the thing is like, when like 80, well, more than that, like 95% of the transactions that happen at my businesses are electronic in nature. Like, people ain't pulling out cash or writing checks. People are swiping their cards. So it makes sense for me to do that. Like, I have to spend that money in order for you know, it's a sunk cost. But, you know, like, the way these people are acting, they're adding microtransactions to things that don't need microtransactions. Imagine how good Marvel's Avengers could have been if they had just made a single player game and not tried to add all those microtransactions to the shit. But they couldn't help themselves. You know, they were like that old African, I forget which nation proverb, the scorpion and the frog. You know, they couldn't help themselves. They just had to. They had to add microtransactions. So I'm loving that all these Western developers are getting salty. That Elden Ring came out, and it's not dumbed down so that it appeals to people who don't know how to fucking play video games like back in the day. It doesn't have a lot of. It has no aggressive microtransactions or any microtransactions at all.
I was going to make the joke that this that Elden Ring seems to not cater to people that are terrible at games like Cuphead. Oh God, that one.
Cuphead's harder than Elden Ring,
and yet have nothing to hide.
Yeah, Cuphead's harder than Elden Ring. Cuphead, because in Elden Ring, Elden Ring is a single player RPG. So once you level up certain abilities, like once you level up your summons, the ability to summon your little creatures to help you out. Once you get that leveled up high enough, it becomes
it's breathable.
Yeah, it's much easier once you do that. Whereas Cuphead, even when you max out your character in Cuphead, there's still a high level of difficulty.
Yeah.
There's still a very high level of difficulty. Powering yourself up doesn't really make the game easier in Cuphead. It just means that you have more means to defend yourself, but that doesn't necessarily mean the enemies are going to go down easier.
I was thinking about that that person that played Cuphead so badly that they couldn't get through the tutorial.
Yeah, but I mean that was Dean Takahashi, and he's never been he's a shill. He's a shill for the corporate he's a fucking shill for the publishers. Anyway, I'm so Kenoshi, you've been playing a lot of Elden Ring. Is there anything that you've noticed about the game where you're just like, man, if this was a Western game, this would have been designed differently?
Yeah, there would have been markings and a lot of chasing around.
A lot of UI clutter.
A lot of MacGuffins, like chasing around all these worthless side quests.
Find all these flags.
Side quests. Yeah.
Find these doves.
Yeah.
What's the bonus for finding all the doves? Never you mind, just find them.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just find it. I mean, yeah.
I feel like Ubisoft games just don't respect your time.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Or your intelligence.
I was gonna say, at least if the Quark sees you, at least get something out of that. Even if the last thing that you get out of them is a golden drop.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering why Breath of the Wild's gameplay bothered me so much. And the thing that finally got me is that so much of that game has had gameplay features lifted from Far Cry and Assassin's Creed have been put into Breath of the Wild. And I don't like that. I don't like, you want to open up the rest of the map? Well, climb up this tower and then press this button and then you can open up the rest of the map. I don't like that. I don't like that game design. I don't like collecting tons and tons of shitty, useless MacGuffins that in the grand scheme of things don't really do anything for you. Because there's 900 Deku seeds in the game. But you only need 200 to have enough to upgrade enough of your
inventory space.
Enough of your inventory space to be useful. So the other 700 is just some bullshit. It's like busy work. It's like, remember when you were in school and your teacher didn't want to actually bother teaching that day, so they would give you a worksheet to do?
Huh.
Fucking busy work, so you leave them alone for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I was about to say though that at least you get more space the more seeds you get. I think.
Yeah, but I mean, at a certain point, it's useless. It's like how much house do you need?
Over excessive.
Yeah, it's like this is just busy work so that people can say there's shit to do in the game.
the only time I think that you need at least more than the seeds that you said that you recommend, I think that'd be a collector thing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's no reason to collect anything. Like the way Breath of the
As
Wild
in
is
somebody trying
designed.
to get every kind of weapon.
Yeah, but even if you get every type of weapon in the game, most of those weapons are you're not going to be using. You have no place else to put them unless you're carrying them on your person, which is just kind of weird. It becomes a clutter issue. Um, like it's just a lot of design issues with that game where I'm just like, yeah, this was not well thought out. Like
Yeah, at least you can understand why I'm seeing the only way I think could be reasonable in a sense.
that's not even
right?
reasonable. Because you get nothing for collecting all that shit. Like there's design like okay. Like the reason that they have weapon destruction in the game is to encourage you to find new weapons. The problem is that there's a certain point in the game where the enemies get so tanky and spongy that even unless you're fighting every fight perfectly, you're gonna lose some of your weapons. So at a certain point in the game, like there's a certain point where you found some of the best weapons in the game, and it's better just to run away from most fights unless you absolutely have to fight than to actually fight, because why waste your weapons? You know, it's like this is a stupid design choice. But you know, it is what it is. I hate saying that.
Yeah.
That's the reality of the situation. Anyway, anything else you guys want to go over about Elden Ring? Like, dislike, etc., etc.
Huh.
Before we move on to the next topic.
I think the only thing I could really poke at would be the UI, but that's probably a small nitpick.
The UI for Elden Ring?
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that the game doesn't tell you a lot. Like, you have to figure shit out as you play it. Because it's not like back in the day.
That's the thing. I mean, I like the UI, and it bugs me at the same time. Like, it tells you, it doesn't clutter up your eyes so much, and yet it feels a little minimalistic.
Yeah, I like that it has a minimalistic UI design that doesn't tell you everything to do. Because remember, back in the day, people forget, back in the day, like now we have the internet. You can go and look stuff up. Now, if this was like 20 years ago before the internet was as big as it is now, or even 30 years ago where the internet wasn't as big as it was 20 years ago, where if you wanted to get extra information, you were just SOL, or you had to call one of those 1-800 numbers that cost like a huge ton of money to figure out an answer. I think that, you know, now if you want to find out more about a game and it doesn't come with a manual, you can look up so much information to get more information. So you can research about the game, you know, real time. I don't think that's holding you back. Now, if this was, like I said, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when the internet was not a huge thing, yeah, that's an issue. You know, hey, I want to figure out how to play this game. You're on your own, son.
At least if anything, that's probably the thing that minimalist styles. I can get the style. It's just that it kind of bugs me a little when it feels like it's so unintrusive, and yet at least it functions very well. That's the thing that gets me. Like, yeah, it kind of clashes. You understand, right?
No, I understand. I'm just simply saying, like, the same things that kind of bother you don't bother me.
Yeah, it's just it kind of like it kind of bugs me, but I can understand the style of it and the reason why it's used.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add before we move on to the next topic?
Well, if anything, I'll just do the transition. At least it bugs me a little less than what Square Enix did recently.
Oh yes, Square Enix, our old friends.
I need a root beer for this one, ladies and gentlemen.
Remember when Square Enix used to mean quality? Well, actually, Square Enix never meant quality. Squaresoft meant quality. Enix meant quality. When the two came together, they created quality level shit.
Your words, not mine.
A bloody stool is what they created. So Square Enix has had some aggressive post game monetization added to
their newest racing game.
Chocobo Racing GP, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, Chocobo Racing GP.
And this is like I guess initially people thought it was going to be a remaster, but it's a new game in the series. And it's just it's really aggressive microtransactions. Like really aggressive microtransactions. Like so aggressive it's not even funny.
The only thing that's more aggressive is Blizzard's cash shop.
Yeah, I would say it's up there with Blizzard's cash shop.
I was saying the only thing that's more aggressive would be that.
Yeah. I mean, the only good thing about it is that, you know, at least they're telling you right up front that they're nickel and diming you with Chocobo Racing GP. Whereas if you were playing
Crash Team Racing,
Crash Team Racing, it would be just kind of like, well, this is probably gonna suck. This is. You know, Crash Team Racing came out and they tried to be all nice and friendly, and then after the fact, it was like, oh yeah,
yeah, it's like somebody's posing for the picture, and then when it's time to get off the camera, they drop trowel and get ready to violate.
No, you don't know what it's like. It's like you're dating someone and they seem like they're really chill and really cool. Like, seems like they have their life together, they have their own place, they're you know, they've got their head together, and then you find out it was all a facade. They actually live with their parents. They've got like 8 kids that they've been hiding.
Somehow
their family is completely fucked up, and they're like now that you're thinking about taking it to the next level, that's when all this shit comes out. You're like, God damn. That's basically what Activision Blizzard did. At least Square Enix is like, yeah, look, we need to make money off of this, so this is what we're doing. And if you don't like it, well, get out. Like, I'd rather have someone be honest and tell me up front that there's going to be issues than someone sitting there
with a mask on.
Fake. Yeah, I'd rather someone be honest and tell me the problems than sit there and lie and like pretend like they aren't doing anything. So basically, here's the problem with the game. Okay, I will screen share this so that everyone knows where we're coming from when we say this is some BS. So people won't say, "Oh, well, you're being facetious," or you're being untoward.
You're stretching.
Yeah, you're being uncharitable with your observations. So, Final Fantasy Kart Racer Chocobo GP costs $50, monetizes like a mobile game. It makes my Nintendo Switch feel like a phone, says one disgruntled player. See, that's the problem, man. You messed up and bought it on the Switch. So you got to get it on PC when it hits PC so you can use a trainer to get all the extra content and then buy the shit. Buy the shit. Because Bloons Tower Defense does the same thing. Bloons Tower Defense GP has a real money shop where you can earn the monkey bucks or you can spend real money to get fake money. But I'm like, why would I do that when I spent like $10 on the game or $6.90 or whatever? I spent real money on the game. Like, so I use the trainer to give myself like max cash, and then I just buy everything. I'm like, yeah, I'm not. I bought the game. I'm not spending more money on top of other shit.
Yeah, and as much as I would have wanted to buy that game for my Switch, I think I'm going to pass on this.
All right. So here's the story. If you're interested in Chocobo GP, a full-price $50 kart racer that launched Thursday, realize first that the game is littered with microtransactions and upsells into them. Irate Final Fantasy fans who paid the freight say they feel duped, and those who play even the free light version available on Nintendo Switch say the whole thing feels like something you play on your phone. So let me get this straight. You feel duped, bamboozled, hoodwinked. I can't do it. The gameplay is fine. Pick a Chocobo or a Final Fantasy character, zip around a course, and boost your speed or take down your rivals with power-ups and magic spells. As for the rest of the game, everything is built around purchasable seasons. Passes, despite it being a paid game, wrote one player on the Final Fantasy subreddit. It's basically the same currency system we see in gacha games, only it's all for minor cart customization shit. While racers and levels are unlockable, carts, outfits, and other items have to be bought at different shops. That dude should have used an ampersand between while races and levels are unlockable, using more than one in-game currency. Players have to keep track of gil and tickets, which they can earn from playing the game. Then there's mithril, which is available only with real money. I booted up the game, was greeted immediately with in-game currency you buy with MTX. Microtransactions, said one Redditor. Battle Pass to get rewards with 2 tiers. And the entire design making it feel like my Nintendo Switch is a phone. Like, am I paying for a $50 game or a free-to-play mobile game? Progression through the game's prize pass also feels slow and stingy, according to some players. One tweeted out that after an hour of online play in Chocobo GP, he won a tournament but was only level 7. Barely 1/10 of the way toward level 60 and its ultimate reward, a playable Cloud Strife. See, that's where you fucked up. Y'all need to stop sucking Cloud Strife off, okay? He's not a great character. There's also the matter of the prize pass cost itself. That runs 800 mithril, and to be fair, some premium games also sell a battle pass too. While the first season is functionally free, returning players 800 mithril once players log on, they still have to buy said mithril. And that's ordinarily $10 for 1,000 in the currency. So basically like $8. A launch promotion is giving out 1,600 for $8, but that's effectively only $2 off if you're only in it to unlock things in the prize pass. Further, the 800 mithril you get paid back from the prize pass expires if you don't use it within 5 months. It's clear.
Hold it. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, it's a use it or you lose it. Like vacation time.
Currency. I was about to say premium currency that expires.
Yeah, it's a use it or you lose it. So it's clear Square Enix wants players to acquire and spend spend that mithril, even if they don't want anything it buys. I wonder how long it will take for Square Enix to learn that just because games like Destiny 2, Call of Duty, and FIFA are able to double dip doesn't mean they can do it too with their lower budget games. Another player wrote on Friday, you either need the content or the brand to do it, ideally both. Chocobo GP has neither of the two. Kotaku noted on Friday that this real money mithril economy was not present in the game when reviewers played it. Ooh, so they did pull an Activision Blizzard. Oh, they're just as bad. But its intent was still obvious to some reviewers. Watching unlockable characters Squall and Cloud get relegated to a season pass and or guild purchases just brought my enjoyment down outright, wrote Destructoid, because these crucial cast members should just be in a game with no strings attached. The review called for the elimination of the prize pass and a price cut to make the game way more enticing. Polygon has reached out to Square Enix for additional comment on the prize pass, the microtransactions, and the player reactions to both. Well,
I bet you none of them came up.
So, yeah, they're just as bad. What are your guys' thoughts on this information that we just uncovered in the article? To be fair, I did not read the article. I read the headline, and I started reading it, and then other stuff came up, so stuff happens.
I'm drinking a tall shot for Prepare for a moment.
All right. Kenosha, you have any thoughts?
That's pretty bad. Hopefully, no, it's not gonna get better. Just don't play this game.
Never mind. No, it's not gonna get better. Yeah, it's not gonna get better.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
What are you thinking, Square Enix? Are you trying to take Blizzard's crown to try to make it your own? Because this is what Crash Team Racing pulled off, but worse, in a sense. And you try to hide it from the reviewers so you could get away with it with the paying customer. And I was gonna buy this game. You filthy lowlife mother waters. I got 2 middle fingers for you. But if anything, you at least evade being the a-hole of the week. Thank your and stars.
All right. Anyway, so yeah. I think we can all agree that they essentially have embarrassed themselves. But I mean, the continuous downward spiral of Square Enix as a company. Like, and I remember when I heard that Squaresoft and Enix were merging, I was like, oh man, 2 of the greatest JRPG houses coming together? Yeah, it's going to be great. Shit. It's been a continuous cycle of bullshit. That's what it's been.
I was going to say, hopefully, for me, I was hoping for at least a increase of something good. But instead, we get an increase of something, but it wasn't good.
You know, like I always said, you know, I always said that that, you know, that Square Enix, I always wanted Square Enix to be good, but I mean, they've shown us time and time again that this company is just creatively bankrupt these days. And the only IP they give a fuck about are their mainline Final Fantasy games. And those aren't good either. Those aren't good either.
How the heck did those turn out?
I mean, they aren't great. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 was a beat 'em up, basically. It was a hack and slash 'em up. Final Fantasy 13 was trash. Final Fantasy 13-2 was better, but still not great. Final Fantasy 13-3 was aping Majora's Mask so hard, Nintendo was like, you stole my thunder a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of sad, really. It's just really kind of sad. So, I don't know what to say, except, you know.
Where is having a mess?
It's not going to get better.
Yeah.
As long as people continue to buy their games, it's not going to get better. You know, the day when Squaresoft was bought by Enix and they became Square Enix, it's never going to get better. It's never going to get better. It's going to be a steaming pile of dog shit for the rest of our lives. Unfortunately, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah. The thing is, I'll say this. They sadly released some games that make me wish that they did more of that, but they do less instead.
I mean, you could say the best, most well-made Square Enix game that's come out is maybe Dragon Quest VIII and Kingdom Hearts for the people who love that franchise. I'm not one of them, but I know a lot of people like it, so I'll give them that. Like nothing else. Like Final Fantasy went downhill. Square Enix bought the people who made Grandia, and like Grandia went downhill under Square Enix. Like Square Enix is incapable of nurturing IPs. Like they just run them into the fucking ground. But anyway, I guess we got to keep it moving to our a-hole of the week. Oh boy.
Yeah, and and remember when I said that Square Enix is glad that they're not a-hole of the week?
Yeah, the only reason Square Enix is an a-hole of the week is because what they did was basically just foul for a company, business-wise. Activision Blizzard hid information for a criminal investigation.
Yes,
So
this is where my a-hole of the week goes to. The company that likes to hide information from not only the family, but also the cops.
yeah, they hid information in a criminal organization, which is just particularly foul. Like, that's particularly fucked up. But I mean, what do we expect? What do we expect from Square Enix? I mean,
Don't you mean Activision Blizzard?
sorry, Activision Blizzard. I mean, this is the same company that had dudes stealing
milk from children.
Yeah. So what are we?
How the heck can you top that?
You can't. You can't. Kenoshi, you have any thoughts?
What does Square Enix do again?
No, this is Activision Blizzard.
What did they do this time?
Oh, well, there's a criminal investigation going on in the lady who committed suicide because she was being sexually harassed so bad by one of her superiors, which, I mean, it's unethical for you to date someone that you're their boss, but to, take nude photos of them and then threaten them with publishing them if they don't do what you tell them to do is really particularly scummy. But I mean, it's Activision Blizzard. But there's a criminal investigation going on about it, and they hid the information. They hid it. They were asked to they hid the phone that had the pictures. I think they destroyed it as well. But don't hold me on that. So,
okay.
I mean, typical asshole CEO shit, and the people who are like, well, maybe Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard is going to make it better. Gamers are kind of naive sometimes. That's all I got to say. Like, unless the people who are in the executive board who okayed all this stuff and helped hide it are fired, it's not going to get better.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping that the buyout might do. But
yeah, but the buyout, they're going to get paid. They're not going to get fired. They're going to get a huge golden parachute. They're not,
Yeah, that's the sad thing. There's likely going to be more gold parachutes than firings.
Yeah. In a perfect world, these people would be fired. It's like, oh, well, am I going to get my severance? No, you get nothing. You get nothing at all. You don't get a golden parachute. You don't get a payout. I tell you, you're lucky that I'm not taking my foot and breaking it off in your ass. That's all you get. I'm not breaking my foot off in your ass, so I get sued for physical assault.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Activision Blizzard once again proves that they are a foul-ass company that really should not exist. And that Bobby Kotick is a human piece of excrement with a bad wig on. I mean, with some bad hair plugs. And you would think a guy who has as much money as this guy would have some decent hair plugs.
Ouch.
I mean, this dude's rich.
I
He made
mean,
100. He gave himself $180 million bonus last year. He was the highest compensated video game company CEO, publisher CEO, and yet he apparently will not splurge on a good hairpiece. I mean, some good hair pieces. I mean, that's just bad.
laughably sad.
It's embarrassing. It's like, dude, you're rich. I mean, look at Elon Musk. He got himself some good hair plugs. You know, I mean, that's why you have money, is to spend it on shit you really want to spend it on.
Yeah.
So, you guys have any other any other company you guys want to add to the?
I said I would add Square Enix, but they inched out of this one personally for me.
Yeah, Square Enix is bad. I'm not gonna lie, they are bad. But I mean, Activision Blizzard is so much worse.
Yeah.
So that's the asshole of the week. So any other topics you guys want to bring up before we wrap things up? Anything else you're like, well, we can cover this. Nothing? No other topics?
Probably this is probably gonna be at least to get the taste out of chocolate racing out of my mouth. Minus the game that I think I know you're gonna be crying for high heaven about. I could bet I know what it is, Red. Would you want another racing game revived from the past?
I've already said numerous times Diddy Kong Racing, but that's probably not going to happen. No, that's probably not going to happen. So another racing game I'd like to see brought from the past. This is another Nintendo racing game, Wave Race.
I honestly would agree with you there.
Wave Race would be great with modern with like as far as texture engines have gone, because Wave Race was always like this graphical tour de force. That's what it was.
I was going to say it's more like a tech demo racing game.
Yeah, but it was there to show off the power of the console. So I would love to see I'd love to see another Wave Race. Keep the sarcastic announcer, and like the ability, if you race really well, you can ride a dolphin, which was cool.
Amen there.
Maybe add the ability to maybe add more vehicles that you could ride, like do wakeboarding and stuff like that, hydro surfing.
More things to do on the boards. I mean, on the jet.
Well, just don't have jet skis. I mean, that was kind of like the problem with Wave Race is that after a while, jet skis got boring. It's like, okay, we get it, jet skis, woo, jet skis, so cool. Can we go beyond jet skis? Like, that's why I said the cool thing about a Wave Race sequel would be like a third game in the series would be is if they did something cool, like, hey,
give us more vehicles, more
vehicle variety is what I'm saying. More vehicle. It needs more vehicle variety. Like, jet skis are great, but give us friggin' give us hovercrafts. Give us wakeboarding or sailboarding or whatever.
Yeah.
Because there's other vehicles. There's other vehicles to ride when you're at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Kenoshi, you have a topic you want to bring up before we wrap things up?
No, I'm good.
All right. So that's the end of the cast. Anything you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
I think I could do this for you guys. Thank you for joining us on the BS Busters Early Podcast. We'll be back for this kind of for next time every Wednesday and Saturday at 7:30. Or if you're with Kenoshi, well, he'll let you know what he pulls off every Tuesday.
Yeah, Project Console every Tuesday at 7:30. Eastern Standard Time. See you then.
All right, that's the end of the cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. We have a BS Busters every Saturday and Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. typically, but sometimes we end early. That's the end of the cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe, and
hype responsibly, please.
Peace.